How can an immigrant person be confronted with a divided place that they once called home? As an immigrant myself, making it this far was a dream come true. The dream of education is what mattered to me, the ability to learn and to take that learning further. And the United States of America provides this learning. This country fulfills the opportunity for every child to dare to dream and for parents to feel proud. Growing up, I've always pictured the United States as a place of harmony. Yet through time, I began to notice that this harmony is neglected here, while our presence as citizens covers up every little hope of togetherness. With a long road of division and a place of disagreements, the United States of America has not lived up to its pledge of liberty and justice for all. Yet the presence of diversity, equity, and inclusion in high schools may provide a change because the study of DEI will allow younger folks to enhance their education and to establish liberty and justice. In just 5 years, the United States will mark the 250th anniversary of signing the Declaration of Independence. Independence was declared to establish that missing harmony, yet its meaning began to fade through time as its people began arguing, why should we instead of how can we when it comes to facing difficulties? Years later, we as students stood up in school beginning with, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. We recite the Pledge of Allegiance every day with hope to pursue liberty and justice for all. A long road to be titled the land of the free. By that, displaying liberty and justice as sources of freedom. Yet, if one person's liberty is granted, what about the other person's justice? It's about time we begin to acknowledge where we stand as a nation and where we stand as a fair nation. We were always taught that we are created equal, yet not all of us live by that equality. To remind ourselves that the United States started out as a country that is multicultural, allowing its people opportunities to dream, that itself seeks the meaning of united. Therefore, with additional studies in high school, students will be aware of their surroundings, of which they will grow passionate about being a part of big steps later in life, leading to the studies of diversity, equity, and inclusion. The study of DEI will allow students to become critical thinkers, to think outside the box, and to no longer be limited to think or act the way that they were taught to do so previously. Diversity, allowing students to enhance their creativity, leading to better decision-making and problem-solving. Thus, decision-making and problem-solving are the granted characteristics of the next generation. Equity, as it allows students to have equal access to the same treatment opportunities and advancement. And inclusion, allowing students to have a positive self-image, respect for others, and to be more accepting of differences. As mentioned in California's Educational Code, Article 4, titled Educational Equity for Students, which was passed in 1991, says the following. It is the intent of the legislator that public higher education in California strives to provide educationally equitable environments that give each Californian, regardless of age, economic circumstance, full opportunity to develop full or her potential. Therefore, in order for students to make it far in terms of post-secondary, they must be granted such a future, beginning with providing these DEI studies in high school. With the presence of these DEI studies, liberty and justice shall not be mistaken. You're recognized equally and individually. With the unfairness around, the division blinded us, yet we must keep in mind to agree with the cruelty is a long war between humans versus humanity. We can ensure the pledge of liberty and justice for all if we get together, forget what divides us, and focus on what unites us. However, if one opposes the study of DEI, arguing that it keeps us from forgetting what divides us and thus prevents us from focusing on what unites us, then what is there to provide in high schools that can ensure one person's liberty is granted as well as their justice? Yet we must picture the positive results that the studies of DEI will provide, of which it will allow students to be educated based on their differences first, then help them pursue liberty and justice. Therefore, I respectfully argue that the United States of America has not lived up to its promise of liberty and justice for all. However, we must allow younger generations to have the opportunity to be involved in the studies of DEI. Yet for granting equal liberty and to raise the flag of justice, we, as individuals, shall have a choice to make. The choice we shall make is a change by when we, together, seek the light of unity, and together we shall march for equality. To accomplish this, our first step is to provide the studies of diversity, equity, and inclusion in high schools. For these studies is what will grant that redress we seek. Eventually, when we stand up for the flag, we shall mean it when we say liberty and justice for all. Thank you.